Markety check on the rackety wreck. If you're my name, then my name is Wreck. My name is Wreck 'cause your name is Wreck. And if my name's your name, that's the next thing that we can conclude, that your name is Wreck. Wreck what? Wreck everything you deck. If you don't deck something, how you gonna wreck something? Everybody knows you got a deck to wreck. Anyhow, I was at CJ's stream for a little while. He was inning too much. I've been there. I know. I'm that guy too. I sometimes just start indulging, playing with whatever I want to play with while people are hearing the stream. But it's like, no. If I'm going to be boring, I want to be the boring one, not the person watching the boring one. And that seems fair. You know. It's not an entirely just world, but pretty damn close. Which means justice prevails, and instead of me being bored by somebody else, I will bore them. But Eric, your thumbnail says you're going to provide mind-blowing fun. Well, your mind is very easily blown. That's the only reason I'm going to be able to do that. If you had a difficult to blow mind, then it wouldn't play out like that. But you're notoriously wispy in your mind land attachment qualities. Easily picked up by the wind and whisked away like yesterday's trash. That's you and your mind. Easily captivated by sparkling objects and stuff like that. You remind me of the raccoon who grabs too much stuff and then is unable to get himself free because he cannot let go of the stuff that he has grabbed, and he doesn't want to, and he can't pull his fist out until he lets go of it. What a tragedy. What an absolute tragedy for that creature. That he still hasn't figured that out after all these years. You'd think evolution would have solved this by now. What's up with that evolution never solving any of our actual genetic problems that in theory could be solved by evolution if it were actually a thing? Oh, I know. It's because it's not actually a thing. That's right. My bad. Did I forget for a moment the truth about the truth? I did, didn't I? Nobody can ever excuse that. Well, I can guarantee you're not getting notified for this one. I have put up a lot of videos today. So, YouTube's probably like, what is up with this guy? I wish YouTube knew me enough. There's billions and jillions of YouTube channels, so. The chance of anybody paying attention to yours is slim to none. Eric. So of course I spilled a whole cup of coffee. Why? Well, because I try to keep myself with all the stuff I need around me when I'm live streaming, you know. And that means I kind of get enclosed in by this barrier of little tables, mics, cameras, etc. I think I got that piece of meat out from my teeth. We had this Korean Kalibi flank steak at barbecue tonight, but I cannot recall the last time I've eaten anything that got so stuck in my teeth. It's almost like Kobe beef was invented by the dental floss industry. It wouldn't shock me if it were. Hey, here's a good way to get people to buy more dental floss. Let's get more food stuck in their teeth. Well, let me tell you this, Mr. Kobe Beef Company. I don't appreciate your nefarious ways. Because that was uncomfortable. And, there's one thing I don't like. It's discomfort. Who's that? It's a paranormal event. Paranormal stuff. This is Perry. Perry and Tiffany have been doing some tight pants. It's actually, of course, it's harder to do harder to do with the dolls than it is to just do it myself, and probably won't perform any better. So it's probably a temporary phenomenon, but I bend you over a bit, Mindy, and maybe you won't be so bright. That's too much lighting on you is the problem. Well, maybe you can just sit right here. There, now you can participate. Well, you're kind of behind me. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get somebody a little bit bigger to participate. Me, Sasquatch, how you doing? If he's gonna sit up here, I'll tell you what, Sasquatch, maybe you could sit right here. Maybe this will work just fine. How's that? That worked out pretty well. Yeah, there we go. Oh, you're too far away, though. There you go. Mr. Sasquatch. Hello, viewing audience. Eric Thor? Hey, it's you. That's right, you scoundrel. You contributor to the catastrophe of the typological community that's happening right now? I don't know if you're aware of this, Eric Thor, but Melissa talked wrong about type. No ENTP. Possibly Yeti. Eric Thor. INFJ. Too nice. Eric Thor problem, too nice. I agree, Sasquatch. That is Eric Thor's problem. What, you say you want Eric Thor to be mean to you? No, I'm not saying Eric Thor needs to be mean to me. I'm saying Eric Thor needs to be mean to wrong people. And tell him, you need to get your stupid wrong head out of your stupid wrong ass. Whoa, Eric. No need for that kind of language. Well, I mean, I disagree, Sasquatch. You're sounding more like an Eric Thor fan than an Eric fan. Listen, must be nice. Consider other people feeling. No one listen to you. If you just tell them they're wrong all the time. Well, but they are, Sasquatch. Different stroke for different folk. Hector, you have Yeti near you? Tell Yeti, Sasquatch need talk Yeti about human problem. Have trouble find Yeti around here. You live in mountain area with cold snows.
Find Yeti. Tell him come see Sasquatch.
I don't know if Eric Thor lives in that part of Europe, Sasquatch. I don't really think Sweden has a lot of mountains.
You shut up!
Ah, hey, don't hit me. Don't hit me, Sasquatch.
You talk too much.
Well, I am an extroverted intuitor.
Shut up!
Okay.
Now, let's continue conversation with Eric Thor. Eric Thor, listen. Oh, you no live Sweden. You live Amsterdam. Okay, if no can find Yeti, can hook up Sasquatch with mushrooms. Mail them to Sasquatch. Mail to Sasquatch, North American Woods, Washington State or Oregon.
I'm sure the Postmaster General will find him. Yeah. I am increasingly annoyed by that Melissa talks about me. You know why I'm increasingly annoyed by her? I'll tell you why I'm increasingly annoyed by her. Oh, I know. I'm not saying you're saying I can't type her. I'm saying... And I'm not saying you can't do a shitty job of interviewing her. You're welcome to. I'm not trying to prevent you from doing that and like saying it's against the law or something. I'm telling you, if you weren't so nice, maybe you wouldn't have done such a shitty job of interviewing her and you would have actually called her out on her bullshit. I have gotten now a short in my feed from her. As an ENTP, she always starts everything with, as an ENTP. Like, okay, woman. Oh my God. Your misinformation campaign must be kicked in the nuts by somebody other than me. At least I have respect for you, Thor. It's like, you know, you're not a tard like C.S. Joseph or DSP or whatever. But you're just nice. You just don't want the confrontation, right? Well, sometimes you gotta kick little ass, take little names. And let me make it abundantly clear to you, Thor. In no way, shape, or form were Rachel and I mean to that lady in the type police session. We didn't even put her in the slammer. We said, it's up in the I don't have enough evidence. So if you think like somehow I was doing it meanly or something, bullshit. If you think I'm being mean now, I'm not being nearly mean enough. Well, okay, Eric Thor, but why would you say that? If I'm going to do it, just make sure I do it respectfully. Are you suggesting I didn't do it respectfully with Melissa Talks? I mean, I think there is a huge amount of disrespect flying around, and none of it's coming from me. A lot of it's being directed towards me. And totally unwarranted accusations. Have you looked into it at all? I mean, the thing is, if you were looking into it at all, you wouldn't be worried about me doing it irresponsibly. You'd be worried about idiots like Melissa Talks falsely presenting themselves as ENTPs in a very vigorous and consistent way. It's not like she's an occasional poster or something. She's got quite an audience. I noticed one of her stupid ass polls had like 500 some views on it the other day, 500 some votes. And do you know what this fucking poll asked? It was indecipherable. Okay? It said something like, ENTPs don't get along with certain types, supposedly. So which one do you think is most troublesome for you, and why? As though, like, only ENTPs take this poll? Then she had another poll that, like, the next day it was like, how long before you disclose your love language to your partner? I mean, it's not a matter of disclosure, obviously.
as you get to know somebody right away, it's not a secret thing. Why would you want to keep your love language secret? I mean, it's like, what is behind these things? I have no idea. I don't know. She just bugged the shit out of me. I guess it's because of the brazenness, her engaging me once to shit on me, and then her absolute refusal to engage the subject again, ever. And then when I see perfectly sensible people like Thor seeming to have been influenced by this bullshit into admonishing me to do it responsibly, when that's the woman who slandered and defamed me with a bunch of false shit, this is concerning. Her misinformation has gotten into your blood. I mean, everyone is triggered by being falsely accused of bullshit. Everyone won't be triggered if being falsely portrayed as a creepy old man who harasses young women when it's abjectly untrue. And there's not a human being on the planet who wouldn't be annoyed by that, who wouldn't be triggered by that. False accusations are triggering to everybody because not only are they lies, they're also attacks. You don't empathize with me. If you empathize with me, then you would have called her out on that shit. You didn't care about me at all. After all, I was the actual victim, but you didn't empathize with me at all. Why not? Because I don't need your empathy because I'm too tough and badass? Okay, fair enough. That's a perfectly fair reason. I get that. It's true. I don't need your empathy because I'm too badass. But for everyone who interviews that woman and doesn't call bullshit, they and all of typology lose some legitimacy. Since she's so active in going around and trying to establish herself as legitimately an EHP, indisputably one, anytime anybody who interviews her and doesn't call her out on it, all the smart people lose respect for them. With good cause. Well, this guy must not be much of a typologist to be worried would have yelled at this woman for obviously misrepresenting her type. Yeah, I can handle it fine. But the thing is, Thor, you and I could be allies. There's no reason why we can't be allies. Except it would require you to understand that you are now an advocate of Eric's typing approach. Because it's the correct one, not because it's Eric's. That you and everybody else have been, including me, have gone down plenty of false paths, but now that we have the clear path, you're committing to it. Then, you and I could be real allies. You'd be right about what you're saying, so you could defend it, so you wouldn't have to try to switch into this other shit like, oh, well, now I'm going to talk about being in flow states or whatever because I don't like the pushback from people. Or you don't like the pushback from people is you can't defend yourself because you aren't correct enough. Instead of trying to be collegial with me, you should say, all right, Eric, you're right. You got this shit down. I'm going to be a disciple of Eric in terms of how to type people, and I will operate under those principles, and together we will win. But everyone's too proud. It's like Thor. Man up right now and say it. Say, yeah, Eric, you are correct about typology where nobody else really is. Say it. I mean, it's the best thing you could possibly do. It would be publicly humbling and making him vulnerable in a way that's very appealing and honest, transparent. It would give credence to the fact that people can be honest and transparent and actually correct. I mean, it would be a power move for an INFJ. You have to be a pretty badass INFJ to see the larger FE impacts enough to take the FE leap, so to speak. It's not typical behavior for an INFJ, but it would be absolutely the smartest thing Eric Thor could possibly do. And if nothing else, it's not like I'm an idiot, right? If I'm saying that, it's because I've thought about it a lot. Yeah, the problem is this, Eric Thor. You don't publicly humble yourself to humble yourself. That's doing it wrong. You unavoidably feel humbled because you've chosen the correct thing, which implicitly acknowledges that you were incorrect before. You don't humble yourself for being incorrect. Everybody's incorrect sometimes. The humbling occurs naturally when you choose the correct thing, because it's an acknowledgement that your knowledge function was inadequate to figure this shit out. That's the humbling part. That's it. You don't have to actively humble yourself at all. The humbling part happens naturally. If you're trying to actively humble yourself for FE purposes, that's not going to work. It's like, I'm the smartest man on YouTube. I've yet to have anybody push back on it, really. Why don't people listen to me? Because you're arrogant, Eric, and nobody wants to take advice from somebody who's so conceited. Okay, well, whatever. Do what you want. I don't give a fuck. Story of my life. Eric, you're very rude to Eric Thor. Oh. Sasquatch? What are you, a feeler? Sasquatch has strong introverted feeling. And strong extroverted feeling. Very angry at host Eric. Well, I'm just telling it like it is, you know? It's what I do. I tell it like it motherfucking is. It's not like I'm lying to you or have some ulterior motive or something, or am wrong. It's not like any of those three things. If you're spending time wondering, having questions about whether I'm okay, like maybe you're too harsh, or maybe you're too mean, or maybe you're not caring enough, or maybe you're narcissistic, or maybe you're whatever. If you're spending any time thinking those things about me, man, your intuition is way the fuck off base. I'm not any of those things. I'm exactly what I say. I'm right. And what I'm saying about this is right, and that's all there is to it. And it's like, no good ever comes from clinging to wrongnesses, no matter how much safer they seem than the truth. And if there's one person who could possibly convince Eric Thor of this, it would be me. Because at least INFJs and ENTPs know how to listen to each other. But, of course, it would require a lack of carefulness that's almost impossible for an INFJ. Rachel's pretty special. Rachel's a really special girl because she took the... Because she was forcibly unable to be perfect for so long. And that was partially due to mental illness and partially due to just a home environment that just got off on making her walk on eggshells and shit like that. So she had to kind of give up that embarrassment avoidant OCD that INFJs have, and she's gotten very accustomed to just telling her the embarrassing parts of her story, you know, and stuff like that. But or me telling them, because it's like when you choose to get with host Eric, you know, you don't have any more secrets. If you're host Eric's girlfriend, every goddamn little thing that happens is going on the internet. Whether he, you know, it's not like I want it, it's not like I plan it that way, just how it works out, right? Eric Thor, did these words actually come out of your mouth? Melissa Talks knows a lot that you don't? About what? Women's hygiene? Okay. No, Eric Thor, I'm not really trying to get other people to walk my path. I was just being a good Samaritan and saying, you're not going to follow this advice, but if you want to stop flailing around in butt fuckery, you should listen to me. But regarding other people who are wrong, spreading disinformation, no, I'm not either a coward nor am I apathetic. So, no. In other words, when I see wrongness, I don't stand idly by and let it happen. You do. That's not a good thing. Try to keep that in mind. I didn't expect CSJ to change. I don't expect CSJ to change after my videos either. But what I got to see with CSJ was the community as a whole asking questions about him. Right? It wasn't just me asking questions about him. It wasn't just me pointing out that this was bullshit. There were a lot of videos on that. You had the same sort of response as DSP is, or a general negative response to DSP, and so have I. So, you're like, there are examples, plenty of examples we have of bullshit getting called out in the typology community. Why not hers? The point isn't whether they're going to change. They do change, not in dramatically visible ways to us, potentially, but they no longer enjoy laughing at everybody while being a scofflaw. I mean, and they shouldn't enjoy that, right? No, don't stand up for your truth. Stand up for the truth, okay? Be more responsible than that. You're an INFJ. You know better. Put your feelings aside and focus on what's true. You can't be pontificating about shit on the internet and then retreating to, well, it's just my truth. That's not how you present it when you tell it to people. It's like you can't have it both ways. Either start every one of your fucking videos with the following statement: everything I say after this is bullshit, arbitrary, don't listen to any of it, just my truth. Or you can't use that argument later on when you don't like being called out on shit. You know? Man the fuck up. No, I won't should. You should. I will continue to rant about this shit too. Because you want to be allowed to peaceably go about your nonsense, even when it's causing problems to the truth and the reality, which is we need to actually apply a correct understanding of cognitive functions so that it can do the massive good it can do in the world. And you're obfuscating by prioritizing being nice and commiserating over calling Melissa Talks out on her bullshit. So, no. People don't learn anything. It's fucking insane. At this point, everybody around the typology community should have realized something. The easiest way for me to be right and not have to be scared is to actively choose to learn from Eric. Otherwise, I'm going to spend my entire time around here avoiding him because he's going to call bullshit on my bullshit. And I know he's going to win the argument because he's right, so I'll just pretend like the elephant in the room's not there. Here I am, motherfucker, eating peanuts at the circus, my floppy ears, my gray skin, and my little slappy tail. Pew, 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 pew. And I'm on Clonopin too, so it's like, you really must have chapped my hide this evening, Eric Thor. Like I said, or maybe I'm on my accountability Girl Scout cookie selling tour right now. Sometimes I go on a little accountability charge where I run around town with my clipboard and discover that, as once again, everybody's totally out of compliance. But, yeah, what are you going to do? I got another project going on anyway that's a little more exciting than this typology stuff. A little more important, too. It's called Mindy's Club. It's where their important work gets done, Eric Thor. Over at Mindy's Club. It's like, why aren't you there at Mindy's Club right now learning? Why are you here wasting your time at this channel when you could be learning from the wisdom of Mindy and all of her friends? That's what I'd be doing if I hadn't already watched them all so many times. Sasquatch agree, Eric. Problem, Eric Thor. No watch Mindy Club. No disputing that. Even I agree with Eric on this one. Eric Thor needs to watch Mindy's Club. Oh, you guys are so sweet. You do need to watch my club, though. Oh, what is this light? What? How am I? What's that? Oh, my God. Hell, man. Hi, Tiffany. How you doing? Pretty hard. We're Costa's drunk, I guess. Do you have any almond milk? You want your mug of almond milk? Okay, I'll live for it. Alright, I'll give you your mug of almond milk. We'll just sit you down here and we'll give you some almond milk, okay? Tiffany has to start each of her days with a stout mug of almond milk. Hi, you're pretty cool, man. Thanks, Tiffany.
Oh, I guess it's just like, hey, hurry up with the almond milk, though, because I'm feeling really shitty right now.
Okay, don't worry. Here you go, buddy. There's your almond milk. It's not actually almond milk for those of you who are curious. She mostly drinks one of two drinks. She drinks almond schnapps and almond extract. She prefers the extract, but it's a little expensive as a beverage. Oh yeah, I had almond milk. Of course Sasquatch no more. Sasquatch has wisdom of nature, wisdom of forest. Host Eric, city boy. I'm not a city boy. Oh, not a city boy. Now who lying to who? I'm suburban, not city. Same different. All part of not forest. You're not going to take any more of that? Of what? But me telling you the truth? Okay. See you later. Shocking. Another person doesn't like the truth. I mean, it's not like I was sitting here and lambasting him with name calling and so forth. I was holding him to account for bad behavior, well articulated. Or at least for failing to meet my expectations. Or my hopes, I guess. It's quite possible though that she's more popular than me already, you know? And why? I mean, I guess this is some FI here or something. Like, hold on, I'm an actual ENGP. She's a fake ENGP. How can her ENGP channel be more successful and convey more information about ENGPs than mine does? Well, the answer is number one, I don't talk about being an ENGP, you know? It's like, I use my own type all the time as an example when I'm talking about cognitive functions or something. Like, look at the difference between, like, even my type hints that I've been putting out and the kind of shit she says about cognitive functions. It's fucking night and day. One's analysis, one's just reporting old news, you know? I like to report old news. Yes, I do. Because the older the news, the better in my mind. I like news from the year zero. Back when Jesus Christ was born. And Mary said, let's start the calendar over. Ah, let me read this a different way. Like this. I'll zoom in and then zoom out. Oops. No video. Video, Eric. first sip of almond milk, God, like, why do I feel like someone's watching me? Of course, Kitty didn't cooperate. This is a little too tight. I need to loosen this a bit. Piggity pow, piggity pow. If you don't want to liggity loud, then piggity pow. Okay. Here we go. Now we're ready to. This will be good. Here we go. What's the hell, you bitch? You gonna have my almond milk when you pry it from my cold, dead fingers. Alright? Because Mommy needs her almond milk. That'll be a pretty good short. It's got a cat in it. That usually helps. I could do it a few different takes, a few different ways, make it a little bit better. If the cat cooperates. Let's see. Oh my god. So I'm sitting here and I'm trying to enjoy my almond milk, and then what in the world is this? I've never seen anything like it before. I have no idea what kind of animal this is. Hello? Are you an alien? Oh my god, I've never seen anything like this before. It's so big. Yeah, it's my hair. You want some of my almond milk? I'm sorry, I don't really want to share it with you though. I need to drink it all myself. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll get you your own mug. But yeah, I gotta cut from that shit, right? I gotta edit it down to good shorts. But now that I've got the cat interacting with Tiffany, obviously the cat needs her own mug of almond milk. Video. Alright there. You try it, go ahead. It's delicious. I drink it every morning. Anyhow, I'm Tiffany. What's your name? Squirrel? Your name's Squirrel? Squirrel Butterfatty? Why is that your name? Oh, you don't have a name? Alright, I'll give you a name. You can buy Squirrel. Okay? Squirrel. Hey, Squirrel. Squirrel? Oh. Oh my god, Squirrel. Are you gonna finish your almond milk? You know what? You look like you could give some really good shoulder rides.
yes. What a good kitty. Oh, yes. Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let Daddy do it. Let Daddy. Let Daddy have fun. Let Daddy have fun. Oh, no. Stay. Oh, wonderful kitty. I know. So good and true. Don't look at this hand. It's not doing anything. Just let her stay there.
Oh! I may have got an action shot of Tiffany getting knocked off of the cat. You want some almond milk? Sasquatch. Last time Sasquatch had almond milk. Sun very bright next morning. Head ached very much. Well, yeah, you probably shouldn't have it then. Fire water make Sasquatch want to open casino. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know the fire water did that. Oh yeah, it does. It does. It has that effect on Sasquatches. Oh, did I not have it? Oh yeah, it's still up. Wisdom is where thinking and feeling meet. The thing is, those sort of statements fail to distinguish between private and public discourse. So it is true that wisdom incorporates feeling even in public discourse. The failure of Eric Thor is to acknowledge that I have met that burden amply as the criteria go for public discourse. I have not made it about anybody's feelings. I have made it about non-feeling matters. And that's the most respectful thing you can do in the public discourse. And to pretend as though, before we discuss how much the blend of emotion and intellect comprises wisdom, we can avoid the question of whether we're talking about public or private discourse is frankly disingenuous. I don't think he's here anymore, but if he is, he just got caught. Not happening. If you'd listen to me, that wouldn't happen. But you don't want to listen to me and say Eric's right. I'm not sure why not. Especially given the fact that I obviously am right. These are the questions that plague us throughout human history. How could it possibly have been that Galileo had to recant it truthfully? He saw the truth about heliocentrism and all that. But the Catholic Church didn't like it. They said, "You're not being pathetic enough." Listen, Galileo, you need to mix more emotion in your science. That way we'll know that you love the Lord. Who loves the Lord? I love the Lord. Who loves the Lord? Eric loves the Lord. Why does he love the Lord? Because the Lord is good. Sasquatch, you can't write tough, boy. You're too bad. Squash Cat. I mean Squash Cat. High clashing games. I'm wondering if there's any typology to him you don't think is a failure. Well, I mean, I don't typically critique Amy, and the reason is because she's trying to go and do her version of my thing. She may not do it very successfully sometimes. She doesn't quite have the She mistyped an ESF, a fellow ESFP, as an ENFP because she didn't have a good intuitive sense of what extroverted intuition really looks like, as I do because I'm any Dom. But at least she's trying to do it my way. So it's like, if she understands the functions conceptually the same, she understands the process conceptually the same, as one of asking questions and trying to push on things to get demonstrations that are meaningfully linking to personality rather than just arbitrarily so. And so I respect that. Is she always going to do it my way and agree with everything I say? No. But she what comes into it conceding the basic frame that we have a correct way to do it and basically know what it is. That's the problem. That is true, and not every other typologist is acknowledging or affirming that. Since it is true, if you know anything about typology and talk about it, you should be talking about that. You know? That's the truth. I can't schmooze away this rancid mutual deception that runs between these various parties with varying degrees of self-interest behind their various YouTube endeavors. I cannot stand idly by and not have it anger me and not want to call it out. It's bullshit. It's full of lies. And the thing is this. I have come to this point now where I am saying this. I don't recall saying this prior in these terms, that okay, it's time for all the other typologists to answer the question, do we have a right way of typing people and a right way of understanding people or not? If we don't, is it because we don't have it yet or because it doesn't exist? If it doesn't exist, is it because typology itself is fundamentally wrong, or is it because all interpretations are equal? We need these questions asked and answered by every typologist, or they've got no business talking about anything related to cognitive functions. They come before the issue of cognitive functions as a question, right? Well, Zephyrus, what I'm saying is, regardless of what they do, there are certain status questions up in the air, right? That people either have a clear answer to or they do not. The first of those questions is there a single right explanation for cognitive functions or not? If not, is it because one doesn't exist, namely cognitive functions itself is bullshit, or is it because all interpretations are equal, cognitive functions is just metaphorical? It doesn't model anything fundamental to ontology. Okay, so if you can't answer that first question, then you're not prepared to even start thinking about cognitive functions. So, it's like, I know that every time I say shit like this, I get a lot of pushback because people don't like the bad FE implicit in this. But I don't know what else to do. I honestly don't. It's like, here's what I'm saying. I exclusively have it right. And if other people aren't in agreement with that and the implications thereof, then they are engaged in some degree of misinformation. It's a big, bold claim, and it's a true claim. It's not a claim I've always made, because it wasn't always true. I was still very much up in the air like a lot of people for a long time. but it is true now. And I don't know what else to say about it. Assuming the construct does exist, where do you suggest to find it? It's a weird way to... I'm not sure what you mean exactly by that, but... I mean, to explain the gist of it, the way to understand personality is to understand individuals as configurations of attentional imbalances that are comprise strategies to attaining the prime directive. The prime directive being the closing of the gap between maps and territories, or you might say the closing of the gap between experience and expectations. So the thing is, if we were to model human being through time in a way that the simulated people behaved like regular people, we could approach it in many different possible ways. But as Einstein says, despite the appearance that something might have multiple explanations that are all right, it always seems to turn out that there's one that's right and the rest of them that are wrong. And that's the case here as well. So, the attentional configuration understanding of things tells us that we have a finite number of hours in the day, and we spend most of those hours attending via certain distinct mechanisms. There are 4 kinds of attention: knowing, acting, reacting, and deliberating. So they're distinct, indefinable ways. I could go into all those definitions right now. And if you were to hear what I had to lay out there, you'd hear a incredibly definitionally sound case that is based on fundamentally sound observational axioms, as any of these kinds of models are. When you're explaining things that have agency with them, the dynamism of agency, they need to be these kinds of models. So the point is, it's verified by growing mountains of empirical data that these deficit areas, that there appear to be exactly 8 of them, and that they display in individuals who possess them a marked deficit from a single mean that strongly suggests there's something wrong with them. Except there's something wrong with everybody. And they fall into 8 very predictable categories, and you never get 2. So I have these various polar tests, right? Blind spot tests. If you test blind for SI, you won't test blind for anything else, despite the fact the test and the goalposts don't change. And it's been proven over and over and over and over again by mountains of empirical evidence. And in concrete, logically sustainable ways that are indisputable. So the reason I'm saying this is not because I've got a lot of confidence. It's because I've got a lot of good reason to say it. It doesn't have to be combative. The problem is they want to come in and play a dance of lies. They want to play collegial with me while ignoring the fact that they're part of this misinformation problem, and I'm aware of it. It's like the video I made earlier today, the live stream about Opaloid. Opaloid betrayed me a long time ago. He emailed me and said, "Hey, what's going on?" hoping I would have forgotten about it. And I said, well, what's going on is you betrayed me a long time ago, and so if you're going to email me, you should really address that first. You never did. You betrayed me and ran away. So address that, and then we can talk. Could I caress the cat? No, it's not. That is not the best way to resolve this Clashing Games. The best way to resolve this is to get Melissa Talks in here and give her the NE test and display front stack any from me, Aga, Christine. I have a panel of actual ENTPs there. And then see if hers looks anything like it. Display front stack second slot TI with a panel of known ENTPs there. And then say, now you demo it. And have each of us demo it, no problem. Nothing, we won't be prepared at all. And then we'll see. Now, if in fact that's the case, then you'd have to acknowledge that at least it's very definitely clear that Eric was right about this, and that he's right about all those ENTPs being able to do those same things, and that woman not being able to do them. It would be indisputable. Much more powerful than a debate. People will not debate me about typology, and I don't want to debate them about typology, because instead of a debate with any of these other people, they need to be in a remedial class taught by me. And that's the truth. They don't eat... They're worse than not understanding anything. They understand wrong things. I read about it. I mean, I learned about it from like socionics and Jung and stuff like that. I didn't really read Jung directly. I read about him, you know. Okay, but that's the point. This is the problem. It's like, these people, we are on two ends of Dunning-Kruger here, right? I'm on the end where I understand it so well that I assume probably the baseline of others is higher than it is. They are on the end where they understand it so poorly that they think they're good at it, even though they're incredibly shitty at it. And they don't want to take any tests to prove or establish that one way or the other, even though those things are available to them, offered by me many times. So that's the problem, right? It's not my problem. It's not my combative approach. Whose problem is it? It's people who say, I'm a pirate. Okay, can we test you for the pirate gene? No. The problem is people who say, I didn't steal that thing. Well, where were you then at meow o'clock? I'm not going to tell you. We'll take a lie detector test then. I'm not going to. Well, yeah, they might be under no legal obligation to tell you those things, but honest, transparent people don't have any problem with that. I mean, my point is, we have an actual problem of misinformation. According to YouTube standards, it's against the rules around here. Or at least you have to explicitly designate your misinformation as misinformation before you post it. However, no misinformation-based critique will ever fly against their bullshit, because their bullshit prevents there from ever becoming genuine consensus about the truth enough for their bullshit to be recognized as misinformation by third parties. It's a kink, don't do it. Why don't you watch some of my typing sessions? Zealous. Why don't you go garner some information from the horse's mouth, as they say. Watch how I type somebody. I've got a typing session playlist on the front page. And then come back and ask me more informed questions. You'll be happier if you did it that way. You can put it on double speed and just watch it a little bit or something. Intuitives in general like to jump the gun in terms of information gathering. I do too, but, you know. It's always a good idea to gather some information first. No. I took that term from socionics. I took terms from lots of places. I didn't make up cognitive functions, right? I just fixed it. I came in and did it right. Jung had a good idea, a good basic idea that he sort of ham-fistedly in-eyed out there for everybody, which was nice and great. And he did more. He went way above, beyond the Call of Duty to come up with this great idea. Okay, so we can't critique him any further than that. But that's all he did with it, was come up with a great underdeveloped, underformed idea. And then people have been struggling with it ever since. Myers-Briggs, anyway. Ever since Myers-Briggs made it popularized. And they've been trying to figure it out, and it's not been figured out. But me, in conjunction with the constant combativeness around here, plus listening to all these other YouTubers, plus Oceanics, plus BB, whatever, but it got resolved here. It got resolved finally here. As to what the other things were missing. What they were missing were fields, vectors, normal ways of simulating things, Like, there needs to be fields with different kinds of objects, and those objects, which comprise information, need to move in different directions. There are, in fact, 4 fields: your body, the external field, the external metaphysical field, which is like the internet, and inside your head thinking, right? So, the relationship between you and the world is one of how you engage the world here, and what it means here, and how it impacts how you engage again. So, as an action deliberation type, it means I take action with words. That's how I engage the world. If you were to test that hypothesis, what would you do? Well, you'd follow me around all day and see how I act. And you'd follow me around all day for weeks and weeks and weeks. And you'd go in with the hypothesis that if, in fact, this guy is correct about extroverted intuition and everything, then he's going to spend a disproportionate amount of the hours of his day talking. And as a matter of fact, 7,000 YouTube videos in on that channel, not to mention it's just so many hours of content. But in fact, that is what I do. I spend most of my hours of my day talking, because it's who I am. Yeah, well, CJ was being too NE. To be honest, I mostly talk about yourself having talked a lot. That's not being honest. It's very, very challenging for anybody to say I mostly talk about anything. Unless you want to say, well, the highest number here is 6% of the time. So that's mostly. I mean, that's not honest. It's dishonest. Or just wrong, probably. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you upload 1 million fucking videos a day, right? No, they don't. Actually, Alexandru, they don't say that. I'm the only one who's saying I have it exclusively right, and they are wrong, and you should listen to me to the exclusion of them. The point being, if they're going to make the claim that they're right, that means I have concrete, operationalizable definitions that other people can use and test. I have hypotheticals you can test yourself. This is objectively available to everybody as a process, not just as I'm teaching you, right? So when I tell you, here's a prediction, if I'm correct about my understanding of it, you will never encounter somebody who both can't remember what basic details from the day, and also can't come up with some random names for shit. You'll never have both of those things. You will have one of them in a certain percentage of people. Well, I mean, he's part of an ongoing problem, which is he interviewed Melissa Talks, empathized with her emotional experience from being type policed, suggested that some people maybe need to do things a little bit more responsibly, in some possibly less direct way than that, and didn't call her out on her bullshit. And my point is, What are you thinking, Eric Thor? It's like you've hooked your cart to the wrong horse if you think that playing nicey nice with the bullshit lady is going to help anybody's cause, right? It's not going to help his cause long term. It's not going to help her because she's. You can't sustain a lie forever. No, they won't, actually. If I give them an any test that they fail, they will not argue that it's an SE test. Because I've typed enough SE types that that when you have the person right in front of you and you say, okay, if you're an ENTP, do this, and they go, and they can't, and they go, well, that's ESTP stuff. So intuitive wordplay is what makes up extroverted sensing. So I'm a precious dandy who loves to make some words. I like the words like candy. Words that aren't like turds. Words that are delightful. Words with fun and magic. Those are things that I like because I'm a stupid dandy. Go ahead, SE Dom. Or whatever you are. You're telling me that's SE? Have you turned everything on its head? Being a precious dandy is now being an extrovert sensor. That runs parallel. Even the stupidest type description is no better than that. So it's going to be pretty difficult for anybody to actually come take the NE test with me and either pretend to have it when they don't, or what you basically said is, yeah, but won't they win the argument afterwards? No. You don't need to worry about that. They will not win the argument afterwards. Okay, well, look. So as far as the validity of the various tests, keeping in mind that I can see that there's still some art, it's not pure science to it. I will tell you that, nevertheless, predictions that the way I present cognitive functions makes have been upheld thus far across many trials. So we've yet to encounter somebody who's tested positive on 2 polar tests. We don't have polar tests for all the functions that are definitive skills tests that aren't gameable. Extroverted intuition is one of them. Introverted sensing is one of them, and introverted thinking is one of them. The other ones are not ungameable. So that limits the capacity to which we can lock shit down. Other things are I responded to his comment and sent him a calendar invite for noon today, which he never. It just crickets. I responded to an email he had saying, "When are you going to invite me back?" I said, "Let's try noon tomorrow." Then I booked it on the calendar and sent a calendar invite to him, and then crickets. That's what happened. I can show you all the emails. I guess I'm gonna have to.
Make this sense. Huh. Where is it? Huh. Why don't I see it? What's his name? Let's see. What's his name? Crusher? Yeah, there. Okay, here's this. I'm glad it's here. So I will show this. Wednesday night, he emailed me saying, when are you going to invite me back? I said, how about tomorrow at noon? I'll put it on the calendar and we'll see what we see. You know, if you, and hopefully that time will be good. If not, we'll reschedule, okay? Then I didn't hear anything back from him until after the appointed time. And so I see here Thursday the 7th, 12 to 1. This was supposed to be it, but I didn't hear anything back from him. So after the time was, you know, come and gone for us to start, I threw that email away because it wasn't relevant anymore. But you can see that in fact I did book one for this just a couple of days ago. Yesterday, was it, right? 2 days ago now. So that's bullshit. He said, when are you going to invite me back? I said, well, let's try tomorrow noon. So that's bullshit. He didn't reply to that. It was just crickets. And I never heard back from him about it. What if when you were playing with words you first find them from your environment and then put them together into a pattern? They would argue that you then use S-E, oops, sorry kitty, S-E-N-I. Well, as a matter of fact, extroverted intuition draws from both S-E and S-I. So if you are an extroverted intuitor, you can draw information from the field of vision. There was once a story about a cat with a lighter, and from your personal memories and experience.
The cat and the lighter lived at a small home on Dwardy Road near a stop and go convenience mart. Now, Stop and Go, of course, if you may remember, is a precursor to 7-Eleven, except it wasn't open all night. And sometimes the cat and the lighter would take the lighter down to the 7-Eleven and wait outside the 7-Eleven, but it wasn't a 7-Eleven, it was the Stop and Go. And he'd wait until somebody came up with a cigarette and he'd say, meow, 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 until the guy got the message that the cat wanted to bum a cigarette. And so this is an example of using extroverted sensing in my story, extroverted sensing in my story, introverted sensing in my story. The Dwardy Roadhouse I grew up in before I moved to this house when I was 2 years old was near Stop and Go. And the natural NI connections between a lighter and a cat and a convenience store, which is, well, maybe the cat goes to stand out there to bum cigarettes. So that's how extroverted intuition actually works. It incorporates SE, SI, and NI. Now, an extroverted intuitor can incorporate all three. An extroverted sensor can't. That's the difference. In other words, we can test on that too. We can say, okay, let's see about that then. So let's each make a story that's entirely out of things that we see in front of us. And now, let's each make a story that is made up of half things we see in front of us and half things from our memory. And now, let's draw a connection that's neither from things in front of us nor from our memory. We have just done the 3 stages of extroverted intuition. Okay, I'm going to split. So Winston's mom, I mean, that was you saw it was for the 7th. So now is the end of Friday night. So this was supposed to be happening on Thursday. He emailed me Wednesday evening. I emailed him back Wednesday evening saying, how about noon? I'll put it on the calendar and assume it's a go ahead unless I hear back from you saying no. And then at noon came and went and he never showed up, and that was that. And you saw proof. So I didn't show you the email. I don't know why I can't find the email I sent before that, but you saw proof that you got the calendar invite. It's probably in one of the threads, It's like a thread that doesn't, whatever. So don't let people lie to you about me. I do not mind people critiquing me for anything as long as they're not making shit up. I am subject to all critiques that are not lies. You can critique me for having harms on Melissa because, indeed, my behavior did at least correlate strongly or immediately predicate her experiencing those harms. But you can't tell me that I willfully harmed her. Those are a big difference, right? Justifying avoidance will not allow for its extinction. What are you talking about? And why do you talk so fancy? Knock it the fuck off. Say what you mean. Are you trying to talk some sort of shit about something? Just say what you mean. Jeff Shaw. It's so Jeff Shaw of you. Are you trying to say that I'm leaving to avoid what? There's not a question I've ever been asked that I haven't answered as best I can. Sometimes I have trouble answering it, or I don't know, and I just say I don't know. There's nothing for me to avoid. I'm no longer concerned about the possibility that someone out there might might have a better understanding than I do. I've yet to encounter somebody who's not of this school of typology themselves that meaningfully can engage with me about the topic, frankly. So what do you think I'm avoiding? When I said I'm going to leave, I've been live streaming for only an hour and a half, actually. Well, because it's like I don't really want all the contentiousness, and I don't. This is the thing. I've been fighting this battle for legitimacy for a very long time. First, on one level, I was fighting a battle to even get to the spot where I had reason to consider myself legitimate. And then I was fighting a battle to be more interesting than the other colleagues I had among me, right? And then I was figuring out, okay, you know what? Because I too came into it assuming it's just a fun thing. It's not something hugely significant. It is something hugely significant. But the thing is, when I get to this point where I have done so much work, so many piles of explanations, so many documents, go to my document dump and look at my documents if you want. And you come in here and you're saying I'm trying to avoid justifying my positions. That is just... I mean, if you actually think that, then you don't know anything about me at all. I may be trying to avoid unpleasantness, because I'm not in the mood for it or something. You know, I do have other projects going on. Besides, live streaming is supposed to be my break from work, basically. And when I come in here and people are nice and want me to explain things, fine. But when they're coming in with this sort of haughty, adversarial, I'm assuming, Eric, you've overreached in your claims, then it's just, you don't even know me, dude. You don't know anything about me. And unlike most people, I'm someone you need to research a little bit before you start coming at me. Unless you're Jeff Shaw, in which case you already do know and you just point your usual shit. You think he was trying to say, if you excuse them, they will avoid you? What does that mean? Oh, my bad, Revelous. I thought you were saying I was being avoidant of your questioning me further because I said I was going to leave pretty soon. My mistake. I'm sorry. I failed. I am a big fuck up, and I deserve your collective shaming. That's what to do when you're wrong. Intuition, probably wrong intuition. My NI is not that great, you know. It's hit and miss. It's not supposed to be used as an action function. So, yeah. It really, NE. Here's an NI thing that might resonate, if I could use it willfully. This guy smells fishy. But, you know, I'm sorry. I misjudged you, and I'm in a Piao Piao mood because I don't know why I'm in a Piao Piao mood. I don't know why. Whenever I really need to understand things, I talk to my therapist, Perry. I'm Perry, Eric. Sorry you can't see my face right now, my hands. It's okay, it's because you're the color of the green screen. Anyway, what seems to be troubling you?
Well, I feel like I don't know why I'm so pyowy to everybody all the time. Why do I gotta be a dick? I mean, is it really? I have my reasons, but are those really the reasons? Isn't it really just that I'm in a bad mood? Well, I think Eric, there is a lot of underlying frustration there that's legitimate. It's just that it comes out when you're in a bad mood, and then you justify it coming out because you're in a bad mood with things that aren't related to the bad mood. You're good, Perry. You are good. That's why I pay this man the big bucks. That's why. Yeah, thanks, Eric. You know, flattery will get you nowhere. Okay, so tell me more, Perry. What's going on here? Why am I mad? Why? Tell me more about why I'm mad. You're ignoring. I just told you. I want more epiphany. Okay, but it's gonna cost you extra. That's fine. More epiphany. Why are you mad? Well, could it be you've not been getting enough sleep? Yeah. Could it be you've been tweaking out too much? When's your sleepy week coming up? Well, I've got a lot of bottle left, man. I see. Well, if you yell at your friends, they won't like you very much. I know. Don't you want your friends to like you? Yeah. Maybe you should apologize for yelling at them. I'm sorry I yelled at you guys. That doesn't sound very honest, Eric. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I shouldn't have yelled at you. That's wrong of me. Oh, well, I think we're making some progress here. No. Let's talk about it next time. Because it seems like this is a conversation we have a lot. You don't seem to ever learn from your mistakes. Well, next time, I mean, who knows what next time is going to be? It's hard to say what next time is going to be is the problem. Next time hasn't happened yet. Okay, Eric, listen. We have talked about this tendency of yours towards avoiding things with humor in the past. And I thought we'd agreed that we weren't going to do that. You were going to take these sessions seriously. I said, if I'm going to be here taking it seriously, you need to take it seriously too. Remember that conversation? Yes, Perry, I remember that conversation. God. Well, right now you're still doing it. You're still deflecting with humor. Does anybody else want to have a therapy session with Perry instead of me? I got a lot to feel about right now. I got a lot of work to do. You sure do, Eric. You sure do. A lot of work. Alright, well, I'll put it down in my goal book. Who wants to tell me about their problems? I'm Perry. I'm very good at my job, which is, of course, the job of therapist. Isn't that fun? What? How did I get to become a therapist? Well, you see, first I went to college, and I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, and then I got my professional certification in talk therapy. And that's how I got this job. I work for Burton and Johnson Therapists Associates.
Nobody's engaging you well enough, and you started having a discussion with, oh, I didn't want to be mad about things. I don't know. Let's see here. You are more interesting than them. You have put more explanations into it. It's not even a contest. I agree with you, VDX. Was I mad before starting the live? No, I wasn't mad with Eric Thor before. I've just told him before and he ignores me. Because he's the only one that I thought, okay, there's some potential to get through to this guy, right? Look, Eric Thor, why are you struggling with finding your way on your channel? Like, what exactly are you talking about? Because you're wrong. So you're going to lose a lot of TI arguments. You're going to get a lot of TI pushback. And if you can put your ego aside for a second and recognize the long game, you'll say, Eric's right. That's the boat to hitch your typological meowings on. And so it's like, look, the bottom line is, I spent years very much in isolation here, which is to say, not rocking the boat that much, really. Doing my own thing and not really rocking the boat that much. But I have come to believe in cognitive functions more than I used to. Like, believe in them as a good, not believe in them as though they're true, although that as well. I've finally also come to believe that the children are our future, which is why I believe in helping them to show the way. Which way? The way to San Jose. Alright, I've got to go move the car in. It's a lot later than I thought. The car's out in the street and I don't want to get a ticket a lot. I don't want to get a ticket, no. So I'm gonna have to move the car in, yo. Okay, so I will be back in about 3 minutes. In the meantime, you listen to this. Hold your horses. Not working. What you need to do, Eric, is fix it so that it's not wrong. Yay, not wrong. I'm a huge fan of not wrong. I buy a crap load of whippets and I hate whipped cream. Wonder what that could mean. Always sit down when whipping up dreams, or you'll fall to the ground and you'll make a scene. I'm Wendy Whippets, B-double-B's wife. It's a hell of a life, lots of no's, little strife. Wendy Whippets has arrived. B-double-B and Wendy Whippets invite you to sing along with our song. Like me, much more you see, like the B-double-P-F-A-C-E. I'm a baby pig and my face is poo. My name is Mr. Poop Face. Nice to meet you. What we need is a party in here. Dancing girls, music, drugs, beer. And baby pig poop face. And when the whippet, dancing girls. W-E into that D-Y to the space. Whippets are what go in my face. Why wouldn't they? I'm not Cindy Slipperjay. No way, I'm Wendy Whippets today. Mrs. Big Poop Face is also okay. This is Baby Pig Poop Face, I might say. Together we're a couple that's super gay. Just the B-double-P and Wendy Whippets invite you to sing along with our song. B-double-Poop Face and his wife. Mrs. Baby Wendy Whippets Big Poop Face and his wife. Mrs. Baby Wendy Whippets Big Poop Face for life. B-double-Poop Face and his wife. Have a nice night.
I buy a crap load of whippets and I hate whipped cream. Wonder what that could mean. Always sit down when whipping up dreams, or you'll fall to the ground and you'll make a scene. I'm Wendy Whippets, B-double-B's wife. It's a hell of a life, lots of nods, little strife. Wendy Whippets has arrived. B-double-B and Wendy Whippets invite you to sing along with our song.
Like me. Much more you see, like the B-double-P-F-A-C-E. I'm a baby pig and my face is poo. My name is Mr. Poop Face. Nice to meet you. What we need is a party in here. Dancing girls, music, drugs, beer. And baby pig poop face. And when the whippet, dancing girls.
W-E into that D-Y to the space. Whippets are what go in my face. Why wouldn't they? I'm not Cindy Slipperjay. No way, I'm Wendy Whippets today. Mrs. Big Poop Face is also okay.
This is baby pig poop face, I might say.
Together we're a couple that's super gay.
Just the B-double-P and Wendy Whippets invite you to sing along with our song. B-double-P face and his wife.
Mrs. Baby Wendy Whippets, Big Poop Face for life.
B-double-P face and his wife.
Mrs. Baby Wendy Whippets, Big Poop Face for life.
B-double-P face and his wife.
Have a nice night.
Oh, wonderful, oh, wonderful. So I got lucky, even though they start giving out tickets at 2 a.m. and it's 3:43. I am ticket free. Good for me. Okay, well, I'm gonna go now. Bye, Perry. I need that to be even taller. Maybe like this. Quack. Hi, everybody. My name's Duck Girl. Hi, Duck Girl. Nice to see you. What have you been up to? Well, I've mostly been participating in that show you're making. Oh, yeah. That's right, that show. I gotta tell you, you don't have me being treated very nicely. Yeah, don't me, Frank. Listen. Duck Girl, you're making a mountain out of this molehill, I'm telling you. You really are. You'll three-peat here, just in case someone missed it. You're gonna three-peat. Three-peat. Yeah. What are you gonna three-peat? Or you're gonna therapist here? Oh yeah, you got a chance to therapist with Duck Girl. The problem is the lights are too bright there. You're right, Duck Girl again. You're so right about things. I know. I went to rightness school. You did? That's my favorite kind of school. Oh, you knocked me off of the paper house. You fell on your own. No, you knocked me off. Oh, Duck Girl, you're so crazy. Why doesn't everybody treat me like this? Well, I want to start by pointing out that you don't really have the most pleasant voice in the world.
What do you mean? I think I sound beautiful. Have you ever heard me sing?
Well, fair enough. I haven't ever heard you sing.
Would you like to?
All right.
Quack. No, sweet, no, quack.
Eric, you think someone, since I perform tutors in music, I take violin classes with my HP friend, and there are two ICGs are just fatter than you are? They're fatter than you? Let me make that plus again. Wait, hold on. Pew, pew, pew. They're way fatter than you. Right, Clashing Games has it exactly right. Intuitives are better at writing music, and sensors tend to be better at mastering instruments. Because mastering instruments, if you're too creatively minded, you're not going to be able to master instruments very easily because you're going to be too busy doing things with them rather than learning how to do them well.
Sounds like you're an extroverted intuiter. Quack.
Duck Girl, you know about typology? I had no idea.
Of course I knew. I could tell immediately your cat is an ISTJ. Quack.
Wow, you're a real typology expert. She is an ISTJ.
You must be an ENTP. Quack.
I am, actually.
What type do you think I am?
I mean, I don't know, Duck Girl. I'd have to type you. I'd have to seriously sit down and type you.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's not a big 5 score.
That's not much of a hint. Alright, well, let's see. What type are you? I think you might be...
No, you don't even know, do you? Quack.
No, I don't really know what you are, Duck Girl. Not sure. Oh, that song's not done. That song, I'm waiting for Rachel to replace. That song has me doing her vocal parts and my vocal parts. She needs to do her vocal parts, but she is on her period right now and not feeling really good, and we're trying to. You have to wait for the moment when we both feel like doing it, and then start recording it. She's been listening to it, practicing it some. So, once she gets the raps and stuff down, but she just imitate what I'm doing there, and then basically she's kind of stressed out about it a little bit. But I told her, you need to remember that it's not really you who's doing this; it's Mindy, because this is gonna segue in with the storylines of Mindy's Club. Mindy's been sneaking off someplace. And it turns out she's been sneaking off someplace to cut an album. And she worked with I guess I'm gonna say heretofore unknown artist, Baby Pig Poop Face. I've been going back and forth about how Baby Pig Poop Face is never gonna make an appearance anywhere in the show, in Minnie's Club. He's just gonna get referred to, and when people, ask why, like where is he? Why he never comes around or whatever, she'll just say, "Well, we just work together," or something like that. So anyway, but that storyline's going to coincide approximately with the release of the song on the main channel here, and then I can run my storyline about basically Mindy getting outed as like a Hannah Montana kind of character, but I'm not sure exactly how it's all going to play out. I haven't thought it all through yet, but so many possibilities. See, here's the thing. Mindy is a very well hidden sociopath. And Tiffany is a good-hearted girl whose behavior is very sociopathic accidentally. And they basically run the joint. And so Guy Suit is your classic fully corrupted suit. He's there to collect his paycheck, to not solve any problems, and to run arms deals on the side. So yeah, that song's not done. It's in the process of being made still. But I play it because I'm like kind of tapping my toes at it. I would have had it finished by now, except I'm waiting for Rachel. Incorporating Rachel in things is a good thing to do, but it also requires from me shifting from my normal work habits a little bit. So I kind of feel like I'm hovering on that right now, because that one's one that I'm definitely gonna get done. It's far enough along, and I'm happy enough with it that there's no more doubt about whether it's gonna come together. For anything I start, there's always some doubt about whether it's gonna come together in anything. Most things I start don't, or they come together into something inadequate. I have this zit behind my ear. It's really freaking annoying. There's a zit behind my ear, and my clit is made of fear. Dear, won't you comfort me tonight?
I've got a zit behind my ear. Quack. My clit is made of fear. Quack. Won't you comfort me tonight? Quack. Come and just hold me tight. Quack. It's not easy being duck girl. Quack. Always having to say quack, quack. But if you tough it out, then in the end you'll launch your patented duck girl attack. Quack.
What other guest singers do we have tonight?
Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys. Oh my god. It's so good to see you guys. Hi, I'm Tiffany. Hi. I'm gonna sing a song. It's called Me and My Horse. Hit it, boys.
Tiffany, I think these lights are too bright for you.
I know I can't see eyes higher. Can I have my almond milk?
Tiffany, you don't constantly need to drink almond milk.
Yeah, but I can't have it ever though.
I don't even know where it is right now. You're already too drunk to sit on the thing. Why do you need more almond milk? Alright.
Oh my god, it's so nice to be here. Tonight, I'm gonna sing Dolphin Boy, Carry Me to Freedom. Okay, hit it, Eric. Hi, Dolphin Boy. I see you. Have you seen my clothes? I was stuck in the desert. Once more again. Till I see Dolphin Boy, my friend. Oh my god. Dolphin Boy. Carry me to shore. I can't count on anybody more than you. Dolphin Boy. What you do. Oh my god. It's Dolphin Boy. That song called Dolphin Boy? It's about a dolphin who carried me home one time. When I woke up someplace, I didn't really know where I was. I thought, oh my god, where am I? One time, I woke up on this bed, and it was like super stubby. But then I look at it, I thought, oh my god, you're so pretty too. Cause it was made out of rocks. Okay, look. Everybody always asks me this. They say, Tiffany, where are your clothes? I can only tell you this. I know I had clothes on earlier. And between then and now, I don't know what happened to them. Okay, so just I spend so much money on clothes. It's like as soon as I leave the house, somebody takes them off of me. I don't even know what happens. Is there any more almond milk? Tiffany, will you stop with the almond milk, please? Life is like a live stream, a highway into the dark unknown. Not like a highway, mostly you just driving alone in the dark, with occasional headlights coming at you and someone speeding you up from behind you. Pull over that
of the night, when everybody else is fast asleep tired, that's when you will drive in the silence. Heater down, level 1, long time till you see the sun. You know though, with the windows closed, you can sit comfortably in your short sleeve clothes. Even though it's 20 very cold outside, 25 or whatever. Streaming is like cruising down this cold road in the middle of the night. Not feeling so old this time, instead you discover an openness that still persists, a kind of open road in ways that used to one time once consist. America and how things always were. Live streaming now in the middle of the night, driving down this long metaphysical highway, riding data. On the radio, only get some AM station though from Salt Lake City. Listen to some tunes you've never heard from 1942. It is a thing they do in the middle of the night out there. Where they are very square. I'm the DJ's voice, reassuring you it's nice, even if the weather's gray. Talking about localities unrelated to these everyday events of your life. You never heard of a place called that, though the price sounds right. It sounds as though the cost of living is quite low. And this backwater AM radio providing land. Providing land. If a live stream were a highway, set the cruise control to 55A. Anger all your fellow drivers by going so slow, even though it's the middle of the night. Man, not right to hold up traffic, especially with one lane or two. It's not saying a thing to do. Might as well just pull over and go to bed. That's true. Well said, Eric. Well said. Gerald has a thought. Gerald has a lot. Gerald has a plot to get the margarine tater tots. He's got a good idea for a name-changing business. Thinking now about what he'll call Christmas when they hire his firm to change that name. You'll always have the chance enough to return to the work I left her up. He'd get back to it eventually, but his visions piled up and his plans would interrupt
all the work that started off so hopefully. Now his mind is back on his business, thinking of changing factless to listless. Oh, how all the people would shout his name. And Gerald knows he understands ever more clearly now. He won't provide explanation regarding the why or the how. He'll see you and know you from inside your heart. Exciting, delighting, Gerald plays his part. And Gerald still knew there's too much to do. He dropped time in the interview. Too much to read, but now and what? Too much time spent nitpicking the skew. Oh, if you Gerald has a thought. Gerald has a lot. Gerald has a plot to get to Marjorie's tater tots. He's got a good idea for a name changing business. Thinking now about what he'll call Christmas when they hire his firm to change that name. Gerald has a
Your shirt's a hot name. It's kind.
My ass. You call those storms. Where is the rain? Those drizzles don't count. I drizzle more when I pee in the sink. It's just the right height to catch all of the undesired splatter. Take me a bucket, pour water inside. I'll say, hey, Mr. Cloud, drop it from the bottom. Mr. Cloud, won't you drop it from the bottom? Mr. Cloud, drop it from the bottom on me. When I was younger, it seemed that everything gleamed. When I was younger, it seemed that everything gleamed. I don't know what happened to me, but I've lost that sense of urgency, and I don't think that I'll ever see it again. If you follow my lead, you'll discover I'm loster than you, and you'll want to know the way to get back out to wherever it was you thought you knew. And tomorrow will be just like today. I'll be lost in too. It's a matter of mood as much as a matter of will. And the things I do and the direction I point to still seem a part of me, though departedly. And I wonder if I'll ever see them again. Bum-ba-dee-da, ba-da-da-da-da, bum-ba-dee-da, da-da-da. Bum-ba-dee-da, da-da-da-da, bum-ba-dee-da, da-da. It's a very cloudy day in Los Angeles, and today we run out of time. Struggles past, troubles still to come. The day is nearly done. Will someone buy us some more time? Cloudy day in Los Angeles, cloudy day in LA. I'm no sort of evangelist, but I have something to say. Life can strangely be forgiving to those who stay awake all night, and mostly voices say to give in. They'll try to sap your will to find whether I'm supposed to be here or just be soon forgotten. Noise is sort of based on what I see here, and also on what I avoid. It's a very cloudy day in Los Angeles, and today we run out of time. Struggles past, troubles still to come. The day is nearly done. Will someone buy us some more time? Cloudy day in Los Angeles, cloudy day in LA. I'm no sort of evangelist, but I have something to say, something to say. That's enough for guitar. Not really feeling guitar right now. I think I'm gonna call it a stream. Go to bed. I'm feeling Miggy to the meow. Yeah, go over there and enjoy his stream now. Maybe I'll go over there too. And but I'll probably go to bed right now. Love you guys. See you later. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.